In station number 1, students will read a conversation where one student is giving advice to another student about their health. Then on the back, students will answer comprehension questions. This conversation contains vocabulary about mantener la salud, which is the list on the back of the card. There is a link to the Quizlet vocabulary list that goes with this, or students can follow the QR code if they have forgotten some of their vocabulary. Station number 2 is classification of words. So students will have an envelope at this station. In the envelope, there are different words. Some of these words will be categories. So some will be food categories, some will be exercise categories. And then students will take the words from their packet and categorize them in which food group or which type of exercise it would be. Once they have finished that part, then they will go to their sheet where they will write 10 suggestions about what other people should do to maintain their health. In station 3, students will read sentences on a page, and instead of having a word bank on the page, they just have a word bank in an envelope. So they take out the words from the envelope and figure out which one goes into which sentence. Just a more hands-on way instead of just having a word bank. They can work together as a group and fill in the correct sentences. This also comes with an answer key. So once students think they've figured out what the correct words are, you could either come and check them, or you could hand on the answer key and let them check their own answers. And of course, on this station also, there is the vocabulary links to Quizlet. In station 4, students are going to read sentences and then arrange words that they find in their envelope to create the sentences. So you can either have them do it on the paper or do all of the sentences and then they write them on the paper. So what your sheet will look like is this, and then cut it up and put it in the envelope. When they think they have the correct answers, again, there is an answer key. If they need a refresher on vocabulary, it's on the back of the card. Station number 5 is lee y dibuja. So students read the 12 sentences that have different categories, relaciones, trabajos, y voluntarios. They read the sentences, they choose 9, and then they write the sentences that they choose on the bottom of the picture squares and illustrate each sentence. And on the back, there are links to the vocabulary that they would need. In station number 6, students have to sort sentences in true and false columns. So there's a cierto and falso. Then they have to separate the statements, whether it's true or false. At the end, they take the false statements and rewrite them to make them true. Station number 7 is los mandatos. So students have 2 categories in their envelope. Then they take out the different commands and they place them in either mandatos informales or mandatos formales. When they're finished, they'll take all of the informal, write them down, and then they'll make negatives so they get practice with both. For the formal, they'll write what the formal usted command was, and then they'll put it in the ustedes command. Station number 8 is el subjuntivo. So within the subjuntivo envelope, there will be 3 categories: doubts, emotions, and request. Students take the trigger words from their envelope and then they categorize them into one of these 3 categories. Once they've done that, there are also phrases. So then they work as a group to put together trigger phrases and these sentence endings to make something that makes sense. They'll write it on their paper with the trigger phrase and then conjugating the infinitive that's on that phrase into the subjunctive to create a sentence that makes sense.